Have you ever heard of the Grey Pope? This name doesn't appear in any official church documents, but rumors of his existence echo through the shadowy corridors of the Vatican. An invisible strategist, he seeks neither glory nor notoriety like the White Pope or the Black Pope, but is said to be the one who truly shapes the destiny of the Catholic Church from behind the scenes. Who is this figure that moves in the shadows? Is he a single individual or a role passed down through generations? Moreover, did he really exist? Or is he just a myth reflecting the hidden side of power and faith? Welcome to another night, where mysteries never sleep. I am Midnight, and this is 7 Nights. Get ready to delve into the enigma of the Grey Pope, the figure many believe to be the true force behind the Vatican. The Grey Pope is not a name you'll find in any official church document, yet whispers of his existence echo through the Vatican's shadowed corridors. Whispers in shadowy corridors. Sounds like the start of every good conspiracy. Let's see where this rabbit hole leads. This enigmatic figure is thought to be an invisible strategist, someone who operates behind the scenes to maintain the Church's power. Unlike the White Pope, the public face of the Vatican, or the Black Pope, the head of the Jesuits, the Grey Pope has no formal title or position. Instead, his power lies in his ability to influence decisions silently and decisively. What makes the Grey Pope so fascinating is the mystery surrounding his true identity. Some believe he is a single individual, while others argue he represents a role or function passed through generations. Historical accounts and cryptic letters hint at his existence, describing him as a shadow voice in critical church moments. Whether real or symbolic, the Grey Pope embodies the hidden forces that shape the Vatican's influence. This mystery is further deepened by his apparent lack of ambition for public recognition. He doesn't seek the glory of the papacy or the notoriety of the Jesuits. Instead, his power is wielded in silence, ensuring the Church remains stable and its authority unshaken. This anonymity protects him from scrutiny, allowing his actions to remain outside the spotlight of history. The relationship between the Grey Pope and the Black Pope adds another layer to the intrigue. While both are dedicated to the Church's survival, their methods often clash. The Black Pope commands the global Jesuit network, using it as a tool for influence and intelligence. In contrast, the Grey Pope's power lies in his ability to manipulate internal policies and maintain control over the Vatican itself. The Grey Pope represents a side of the Vatican few ever consider, the strategic, calculated force that balances faith and politics. His existence, whether factual or fictional, speaks to the complexity of power within the Church. If he is real, his actions have likely shaped the destiny of nations. If he is a myth, he is a reflection of the Vatican's enduring mystique. The Council of Trent, 1545 to 1563, was a turning point in the history of Christianity, called to counter the Protestant Reformation and reaffirm Catholic doctrines. The Council of Trent, the Vatican's version of reset and recalibrate. And who's steering the ship? Our mysterious Grey Pope, maybe. Publicly, it was a forum for open debate among cardinals and theologians. However, beneath this facade of unity and discussion, a figure known as the Voice of the Shadow was allegedly orchestrating critical decisions. This figure, believed to be the Grey Pope, played a pivotal role in navigating the Church through one of its most turbulent eras. The Grey Pope's influence during the Council was not overt, but subtly woven into its outcomes. He is said to have been instrumental in forging political alliances that ensured the support of Catholic monarchs like Charles V. These alliances were crucial for the Church's survival, as they provided both military backing and moral legitimacy in a fractured Europe. Without these behind-the-scenes negotiations, the Council's resolutions might have lacked the necessary weight to be enforced. One of his most significant contributions was the establishment of the Index Librorum Prohibitorum, or the Index of Forbidden Books. This list sought to suppress heretical and controversial ideas that could undermine the Church's authority. While public figures debated theology, the Grey Pope worked in the shadows to control the intellectual battlefield, ensuring that dissenting voices were silenced before they could gain traction. His strategies extended beyond censorship. The Grey Pope is also credited with creating an invisible tribunal, known as the Shield of the Doctrines, tasked with monitoring and judging individuals who threaten the unity of the Church. This tribunal operated outside the public eye, eliminating threats before they could disrupt the Church's stability. While morally ambiguous, these actions underscore his commitment to preserving the Church at all costs. The Council of Trent was a victory for the Catholic Church, solidifying its doctrines and countering the Protestant challenge. However, The success of the council owed as much to the Grey Pope's silent influence as it did to the visible efforts of the cardinals and theologians. His role as the invisible strategist ensured that the Church emerged from the crisis stronger and more centralized than ever. The Index Librorum Prohibitorum was one of the most controversial tools wielded by the Catholic Church to maintain its authority. This list of forbidden books, introduced during the Council of Trent, was not merely about censorship. It was a calculated move to control the flow of information. The Grey Pope, acting as a silent architect, is believed to have been the driving force behind this initiative, understanding that knowledge could be as dangerous as any weapon. The index served a dual purpose. On the surface, it protected the faithful from heretical ideas that could lead them astray. However, its deeper intent was to consolidate the Church's control over intellectual and theological narratives. By banning books that challenged its authority, the Church ensured that its version of truth remained unchallenged. The Grey Pope, in his strategic role, recognized that suppressing dissenting voices was essential to preserving the Church's influence. This list targeted not only theological works but also scientific and philosophical texts. Figures like Galileo and Copernicus found their works condemned, as their ideas threatened to shift humanity's understanding of the universe and, by extension, the Church's position in it. The Grey Pope's hand in this censorship reveals his pragmatic approach to power. Maintaining authority often required suppressing progress. The implementation of the index was not without resistance. Many scholars and clergy members argued that it stifled intellectual growth and alienated the Church from the broader currents of human knowledge. However, the Grey Pope was not concerned with popularity or progress. His priority was survival. For him, controlling ideas was as vital as controlling armies or alliances. The index remained a powerful tool for centuries, shaping the intellectual landscape of Europe. While it was officially abolished in the 20th century, its legacy endures as a reminder of the Church's complex relationship with knowledge and authority. The Grey Pope's involvement in its creation exemplifies his role as a protector of the Church's interests, even when those interests conflicted with broader human advancement. During the turbulent era of the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church's survival depended not only on theological reaffirmation, but also on deft political maneuvering. The Grey Pope, operating in the shadows, is believed to have played a pivotal role in reshaping European geopolitics to secure the Church's position. His strategies were subtle yet profound, weaving alliances and manipulating power structures to ensure the Vatican's influence remained intact. One of the Grey Pope's most significant achievements was aligning Catholic monarchs to act as defenders of the faith. Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, was a critical ally during this period. Historical documents suggest that the Grey Pope was instrumental in negotiating terms that ensured Charles would devote resources to combating Protestantism. By securing the loyalty of such a powerful ruler, the Church retained its foothold in Europe at a time when it faced existential threats. The Grey Pope's influence extended beyond alliances. He orchestrated the destabilization of Protestant strongholds through calculated political pressure. In regions like Bohemia and Poland, where Protestantism had gained traction, the Grey Pope's strategies helped restore Catholic dominance. His ability to foresee the consequences of political and religious shifts made him an invaluable asset in the Vatican's efforts to maintain its authority. At times, his methods veered into morally ambiguous territory. Historical accounts suggest that the Grey Pope facilitated covert operations to silence Protestant leaders and disrupt their movements. These actions, while controversial, underscore his pragmatic approach to preserving the Church. For him, the ends justified the means, even if those means involved subterfuge and manipulation. The Grey Pope's involvement in European geopolitics demonstrates his unparalleled understanding of power dynamics. He recognized that the Church's survival required more than faith. It required control over the political forces shaping the continent. Through his behind-the-scenes actions, he not only preserved Catholicism, but also cemented the Vatican's role as a key player in global politics. One of the most intriguing and controversial aspects of the Grey Pope's legacy is the existence of a secret tribunal, referred to in cryptic documents as the Shield of the Doctrines. This tribunal, allegedly established during the Counter-Reformation, was tasked with identifying and eliminating internal threats to the Church. While its existence has never been officially acknowledged, references in Vatican correspondence suggest it operated under the Grey Pope's direct supervision. The tribunal's primary role was to monitor clergy, scholars, and political figures whose actions or beliefs could undermine the Church's unity. Unlike the public trials of the Inquisition, these proceedings were conducted in complete secrecy. Those found guilty often faced exile, excommunication, or even assassination. The tribunal's shadowy nature reflects the Grey Pope's belief that some battles are best fought in silence. The tribunal's reach extended far beyond Rome. Ciphered letters from the time reveal that its agents operated across Europe, gathering intelligence and acting on behalf of the Vatican. This network of operatives was essential for the Grey Pope's efforts to maintain control over a rapidly changing religious landscape. Their actions, though hidden, were critical in curbing the spread of Protestantism and other perceived heresies. Critics of the tribunal have pointed to its methods as evidence of the Church's darker side. The use of fear, coercion, and secrecy to enforce doctrinal conformity raises ethical questions about the lengths to which the Vatican was willing to go to preserve its power. For the Grey Pope, however, these measures were a necessary evil in a time of crisis. He saw the tribunal as a shield protecting the Church from forces that sought to dismantle it. Despite the moral ambiguity surrounding its actions, the tribunal succeeded in its mission. By operating in the shadows, it ensured that threats to the Church were neutralized before they could gain momentum. The shield of the doctrine stands as a testament to the Grey Pope's commitment to preserving the Church's unity and authority, even at the cost of transparency and morality. The Vatican's secret archives are among the most mysterious places on Earth, a repository of documents spanning centuries. These archives are said to contain everything from papal correspondence to records of heresies and political intrigues. For the Grey Pope, the archives represented the ultimate tool for maintaining control over the Church's narrative and history. His access to these secrets gave him unparalleled power in shaping the Vatican's policies and its perception by the outside world. One of the Grey Pope's primary uses of the archives was to suppress information that could weaken the Church's authority. Manuscripts such as the Gospel of Judas and other apocryphal texts reportedly present alternate views of early Christianity that challenge official doctrine. By keeping these documents hidden, the Grey Pope ensured that the Church's narrative remained unchallenged, preserving the faith of millions. The archives also played a crucial role in the Grey Pope's political strategies. Documents detailing the weaknesses of European monarchs and rival religious movements gave him leverage in negotiations. By using this information to his advantage, the Grey Pope was able to secure alliances and neutralize threats without ever appearing on the front lines. His mastery of information control was a cornerstone of his power. Beyond historical records, the archives are said to contain details of secret councils and tribunals. One such document, the so-called Codex Vigilius, allegedly outlines the Grey Pope's role in resolving the Great Western Schism, a period of division within the Church. Though its existence is unconfirmed, references to the Codex suggest that the Grey Pope used historical precedents to justify his actions, further solidifying his authority. The Vatican's secret archives remain a symbol of the Church's hidden power. For the Grey Pope, they were more than a collection of documents, they were a weapon. By controlling access to knowledge, he ensured that the Church's history was written on his terms. History is written by the victors, and sometimes by the archivists. Or in this case, the guy in the shadows. His ability to wield information as a tool of power highlights his role as the ultimate strategist of the Vatican. The Vatican's declared neutrality during World War II was a carefully crafted stance, but beneath this public image lay a network of clandestine operations. Neutrality on the surface, espionage underneath. Sounds like the Grey Pope's signature move. The Grey Pope is believed to have been the silent architect behind many of these efforts, working to protect the Church's interests and its people. His strategies included covert negotiations with both the Allies and Axis powers, ensuring that Vatican City remained untouched by the ravages of war. This delicate balancing act required immense foresight and diplomacy, hallmarks of the Grey Pope's influence. One of the most notable aspects of his role during the war was the protection of persecuted Jews. Under his guidance, monasteries and churches became secret havens, sheltering thousands from Nazi persecution. Vatican agents, allegedly operating under the Grey Pope's supervision, orchestrated escape routes that saved countless lives. Passages within Vatican City itself were reportedly used to hide entire families, further demonstrating the strategic depth of his humanitarian efforts. The Grey Pope's reach extended to the safeguarding of the Church's cultural and spiritual treasures. Manuscripts, artworks, and relics were moved to secure locations, with some transported to Switzerland under highly secretive operations. These measures were critical not only for preserving the Church's heritage, but also for ensuring its continuity in the face of potential occupation. Many of these treasures have never been publicly accounted for, adding to the intrigue surrounding his wartime actions. However, his strategies were not without controversy. Reports suggest that the Grey Pope engaged in morally ambiguous negotiations with Nazi officials, offering intelligence or other concessions in exchange for sparing Catholic institutions. While these actions undoubtedly saved lives and property, they also raise questions about the ethical boundaries he was willing to cross to protect the Church. This duality is a recurring theme in his legacy, blending pragmatism with ethical complexity. After the war, the Vatican emerged with its reputation largely intact, thanks in no small part to the Grey Pope's behind-the-scenes efforts. His actions during this period exemplify his role as a guardian of the Church, willing to navigate the darkest corners of diplomacy and strategy to ensure its survival. While much of his work remains shrouded in secrecy, his influence during one of history's most tumultuous periods is undeniable. The Jesuits, or the Society of Jesus, have long been an integral part of the Vatican's global influence. Founded in 1540 by Ignatius of Loyola, the Jesuits quickly became known for their intellectual rigor, missionary work, and strategic acumen. The Grey Pope's relationship with the Jesuits, particularly with their leader, the Black Pope, was marked by both collaboration and tension. This dynamic reflected the balance of power within the Church, as both figures sought to preserve its dominance through different means. During the Counter-Reformation, this partnership proved invaluable. The Grey Pope focused on formulating political and strategic plans, while the Jesuits executed these decisions in the field. Their network of schools, missions, and advisors became a powerful tool for reclaiming territories lost to Protestantism. In regions like Bohemia and Poland, Jesuit efforts were instrumental in reversing the tide of Protestant influence, showcasing the effectiveness of their collaboration with the Grey Pope. However, as the Jesuits grew in power, tensions began to surface. Their global reach and financial independence made them a force unto themselves, raising concerns within the Vatican. The Grey Pope, intent on maintaining centralized control, reportedly took measures to curtail their influence. These included requiring direct reporting to the Vatican and bypassing the Black Pope's authority in critical matters. These actions highlighted the delicate balance between cooperation and rivalry. The suppression of the Jesuits in 1773 marked the peak of this tension. Under pressure from European monarchs, Pope Clement XIV officially dissolved the order, but many believe the Grey Pope supported this decision to neutralize an internal threat. Despite this, the Jesuits were restored in 1814, and their relationship with the Vatican continued, albeit with lingering mistrust. The events of this period underscore the complex interplay between loyalty and power within the Church. Even in modern times, the Jesuits remain a significant force within the Catholic Church. The Jesuits, loyal allies, uneasy rivals. A complicated dance, even for someone as calculated as the Grey Pope. Their intelligence networks and global presence have been key assets in addressing contemporary challenges. While the rivalry between the Grey Pope and the Black Pope has diminished, their historical relationship serves as a testament to the intricate dynamics of Vatican politics, where collaboration and competition often coexist. The question of the Grey Pope's identity has puzzled historians and theologians for centuries. Unlike the White Pope or Black Pope, who hold official positions within the Church, the Grey Pope operates entirely in the shadows. This anonymity has given rise to numerous theories, ranging from the plausible to the extraordinary. One popular idea is that the Grey Pope is not a single person, but a title or role passed down among a select group of Vatican strategists. Historical records mention secret councils and inner circles of cardinals with extraordinary powers, often referred to as invisible protectors. These individuals were said to act independently of the White Pope, making decisions critical to the Church's survival. The theory that the Grey Pope represents a collective of such figures explains why similar characters appear throughout different periods, always steering the Vatican through crises. Another compelling theory ties the Grey Pope to influential Italian families like the Orsini and Colonna. These dynasties, deeply embedded in Vatican politics, were known for their ability to manipulate power. Researchers speculate that the Grey Pope may have been a representative of these families, ensuring that their interests aligned with those of the Church. This connection would also account for the continuity of his influence over centuries. The resignation of Pope Benedict XVI in 2013 brought the mystery into modern focus. Benedict, a scholar with unparalleled access to the Vatican's archives, reportedly uncovered sensitive information that could have destabilized the Church. Some believe the Grey Pope played a pivotal role in his resignation, ensuring that Benedict remained under supervision within Vatican City. This theory highlights the Grey Pope's enduring presence in the Church's most critical decisions. Whether he is an individual, a lineage, or a collective entity, the Grey Pope's identity remains shrouded in secrecy. This ambiguity is perhaps his greatest strength, allowing him to wield power without accountability. His enduring mystery serves as a reminder of the hidden forces that shape the Vatican's role in global affairs, blending faith with strategy in ways the public may never fully understand. The legacy of the Grey Pope is one of influence shrouded in mystery. For centuries, his actions have shaped the Catholic Church's trajectory, often steering it through moments of profound crisis. While his name may never be officially recorded, the outcomes of his strategies are etched into history. The Grey Pope represents a form of power that is not seen but deeply felt, ensuring the Church's survival across generations. His most enduring legacy lies in his ability to balance pragmatism and faith. The Grey Pope was both a protector of the Church's spiritual mission and a manipulator of its political power. He made decisions that were not always morally clear, but which often proved necessary for the institution's survival. This duality has led to debates over whether he should be viewed as a hero, a villain, or something in between. In the modern era, the Grey Pope's influence has likely evolved to address new challenges. The rise of digital technology and the rapid dissemination of information have created vulnerabilities that the Church has never faced before. Speculation suggests that the Grey Pope has adapted, using advanced strategies to protect Vatican secrets and counter potential threats in the information age. His methods may have changed, but his mission remains the same. Beyond his specific actions, the Grey Pope symbolizes the Vatican's capacity for resilience. From the Protestant Reformation to World War II, his strategies have ensured the Church's continuity in times of upheaval. This legacy of adaptability reflects the Vatican's ability to navigate both spiritual and temporal realms, maintaining its relevance in an ever-changing world. The Grey Pope's greatest legacy is his enduring mystery. Whether he is a myth, a role, or a series of individuals, he embodies the complexity of the Vatican's power. His story reminds us that the forces shaping history often operate in the shadows, leaving us to wonder just how much of the world we see is guided by those we cannot. The Grey Pope is an enigma, a figure who might be either a myth or the personification of the hidden forces driving the Church. His ability to operate in the shadows, keeping the Church in control even amid monumental crises, stands as a testament to his influence. Hero, villain, or something in between? That's a question we may never answer. This story is just one piece, and one day perhaps we'll see the whole puzzle. If this made you think, subscribe and like the video. It helps the channel grow. Don't forget to share. After all, more voices mean more discoveries. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this mystery captivated you. But I bet you haven't seen everything yet. Click on the next videos now to continue your journey into the unknown. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next secrets I'm about to reveal. But be careful, once you step inside, there's no turning back.